the infamous Daddy's House recording studios. And after losing Big, I refused to record here on my Keep the Faith album. I was just kind of like over everything.
To be honest, I wanted to try and leave Bad Boy after Big died.
And being at Bad Boy especially, that was like certainly a time in my life and career that I'll never forget.
A lot of folks have been buzzing, wondering when Faith Evans is finally going to spill the tea on Diddy. Word on the street is she went through some seriously messed up stuff while at Bad Boy.
Some sort of, responsibility because I'm in this thing with him, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He's my artist, and he was supposed to go to London.
And apparently, it wasn't just Diddy causing drama. Mary J. Blige allegedly had a hand in it too.
In the Puff's house and just trying to talk to him, heart to heart, and just say, yo, please let me go. 'Cause that ain't an easy thing, not with him.
Back in 1993, Faith Evans made the move to LA and started working as a backup singer for Al B. Sure, it wasn't long before she caught Diddy's eye. He invited her to do some background vocals, and after just one studio session, Diddy signed her on the spot, making her the first female artist on his Bad Boy label.
And then did these 2 lines and rearranged them. I asked him, Mr. Puff, you mind if I change it around a little bit? And I did, and I added all my arrangements and harmonies, and when I came out, he asked me, did I want to sign his new label?
In 1994, the same year Diddy signed Faith to Bad Boy, she met Biggie Smalls at a photo shoot, and they instantly clicked. Things moved fast, so fast that they got married after only knowing each other for a few weeks.
Conversation. There was something that I felt that was really cool about him. And shortly after that, it may have been about 5-6 weeks, something like that.
That same year, Diddy had Faith singing backup vocals and co-writing tracks for Mary J. Blige's second album, My Life and Usher's debut album. At the same time, she was working on her own debut album, which dropped in August 1995 and became a huge hit, thanks to singles like You Used to Love Me and Soon as I Get Home. The album went platinum, selling 1.5 million copies. Around that time, Faith and Biggie welcomed their son, Christopher Wallace Jr., but their relationship was already on shaky ground. Rumors were flying that Biggie was cheating on her with multiple women, including Lil' Kim. In response, Faith allegedly got her revenge by having an affair with Biggie's rival, Tupac. This move dragged Faith right into the middle of the infamous East Coast versus West Coast hip-hop war, which ended in tragedy. On September 7, 1996, Tupac was a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas, and just 6 months later, on March 9, 1997, Biggie was fatally shot in LA. After these back-to-back losses, Faith's view of the music industry and Bad Boy Records completely shifted. She was desperate to leave Diddy's label. Faith later told the New York Times that Diddy started mistreating her, putting all sorts of ridiculous demands on her, including forcing her to tan every other day. She said, Puffy's always had high standards. Very early in my career, Puff used to walk me to the tanning salon every other day because I was pale and he wanted to tan me up. And he told me he wanted me to walk out of the house and look glamorous all the time. Almost immediately after Biggie's death, Diddy pressured Faith to perform I'll Be Missing You with him and Sting at the 1997 MTV Music Awards, even though she was still deep in grief. The timing was rough, but Diddy pushed her to go through with it. Faith opened up about the pressure she felt, saying, when he wanted me to sing I'll Be Missing You at the MTV Awards with Sting, I didn't want to do anything. I was still grieving. But he got me on the phone and was like, listen, you ain't about to mess up my thing. I thought my crying would work, but he convinced me to go through with it. Around this time, there were also wild rumors swirling that Diddy had set Biggie up to People said he told Biggie to go to LA, fully knowing that folks there were looking to avenge Tupac's. According to former Bad Boy Records executive Kirk Bice, Biggie was actually supposed to fly to London on the day he was shot. However, Diddy called the night before and said Biggie had stayed in LA.
Early morning, go to London, and we would be out there for 2-3 days, and then he would go back to New York and go home. Diddy called Sean P. Diddy.
Biggie's mom, Valletta, also had doubts about Diddy's loyalty, writing in her memoir that, I believe Sean loved my son after he was dead. Wallace, who penned her book with writer Tremel McKenzie, says, I used to tell Christopher all the time not to trust Sean. And while she didn't directly accuse Diddy of anything during her 2020 interview on The Breakfast Club, she said she still wants to strangle some of Biggie's former associates.
Some of some of his associates, I still want to strangle them.
With all the rumors swirling about Diddy possibly setting Biggie up, Faith was desperate to find a way out of Bad Boy, but she was contractually tied to Diddy, so she ended up releasing 2 more albums on his label. While her second and third albums got solid reviews from critics and fans, Faith was really struggling behind the scenes. Diddy allegedly completely sidelined her and didn't bother to promote her projects. On top of that, there were whispers that Mary J. Blige was making Faith's life a living hell. Apparently, Mary was eager to be the first lady of Bad Boy and was jealous of Faith's vocal talent. Rumor has it that she even had Faith's vocals removed from some songs, including their 1995 collaboration, Love Don't Live Here.
Yeah, on my first album, we did a song together called Love Don't Live Here Anymore.
Wow.
And then at the time, the general manager of Bad Boy called me like probably about 6 months after my album came out.
It might have turned out to be a blessing in disguise that Mary J. didn't sign with Diddy's Bad Boy, but that doesn't mean she was completely free from any issues with Diddy. There have been allegations suggesting that when Mary J. and Diddy were together, she went through some tough times. Mary J. hinted at this on her Amazon documentary, mentioning that there are things she's been through that she'll never reveal. Many people speculate that it's likely connected to her experiences with Diddy. As of now, Mary J. and Diddy seem to have a close relationship, with Diddy even stating earlier in 2023 that Mary J. Blige is one of the greatest storytellers in R&B history, Combs tells People. She created a lane for women around the world to speak their truth to power, so nobody deserves this success more than her. On her part, Mary J. also talks about Diddy being her bestie and mentor. However, there's speculation about whether all of that is just a cover-up for what she went through during her time with Diddy. Given Diddy's reputation for being manipulative, some people believe that the seemingly affectionate relationship between Mary J. and Diddy might just be a mask for the challenges she faced. In a revealing interview with Rolling Stone, Blige disclosed that Diddy was not only unfaithful during their romantic involvement, but also took credit for her work and manipulated her into signing unfavorable contracts.
Probably my darkest album, at one of the darkest times I've had. Most of the times I was just depressed and didn't want to live. I had it all inside and I was able to sing.
Blige shared that, back when Diddy was known as Puff Daddy, he lured her in with charm and charisma when she was a young and naive artist. He made promises to elevate her into stardom and shield her from the industry's pitfalls, but instead he exploited her for financial gain and engaged in infidelity with multiple women.
Well, it's kind of the same thing.
Blige shared that her realization came when she discovered Diddy had fathered a child with another woman in 1998. Confronting him, she demanded to end both their personal and professional relationship, but he refused to let her go. He begged me to stay with him. He said he loved me and he would change. He said he needed me and he couldn't do it without me. He said he would give me everything I deserved, Blige recounted. But it was all lies. He didn't want to lose me because I was his golden goose. I was making him millions of dollars. I was his ticket to fame and fortune. Blige recounted her struggle to break free from Diddy's grip, revealing that he made it incredibly challenging for her. She claimed he to sue her, blacklist her, tarnish her reputation, and even physically harm her if she tried to leave him. He was a powerful man in the industry. He had connections everywhere. He had lawyers, bodyguards, hitmen. He had people who would do anything for him, Blige shared. He told me that if I ever left him, he would make sure I never worked again. He told me that if I ever spoke out against him, he would make sure I never lived again. Living in fear for years, Blige finally found the courage and resources to sever ties with Diddy in 2001. She hired new lawyers, managers, and producers to assist her in rebuilding her career and reclaiming her identity.
Been really powerful by inspiring each other to want to live to see another day.
Blige shared that she embarked on a journey of healing by seeking therapy, spiritual guidance, and sobriety to overcome the trauma and ache inflicted by Diddy. I had to fight for my life. I had to fight for my freedom. I had to fight for my dignity, Blige expressed. I had to overcome the pain, the anger, the betrayal, the addiction, the depression. I had to find myself again. I had to find my voice again. She decided to speak out now, hoping to share her side of the story and inspire other women facing similar situations. Blige expressed her desire to expose Diddy for who he truly is: a fraud, a manipulator, and a He's not the genius that he claims to be. He's not the visionary that he pretends to be. He's not the mogul that he wants to be, Blige asserted. He's a parasite. He's a leech. He's a monster. Blige emphasized that she holds no regrets about her past collaboration with Diddy, acknowledging that the experience contributed to her growth as both an artist and an individual. She expressed pride in the music they created together and its lasting impact on the culture. Blige also conveyed gratitude to her supportive fans, acknowledging the respect she received from peers for her talent and integrity. Content with her current position in life and career, she described herself as a legend, an icon, and a queen. "I don't hate him, I don't love him, I don't need him," Blige stated regarding Diddy. "I forgive him." Well, that's not the end of Diddy's evil actions. There is also another belief among the public that Diddy is also allegedly involved in Tupac's and Biggie's historic M. Diddy's purported obsession with acquiring a death row chain, treating it as a coveted prize in a game-like pursuit, became apparent as he allegedly offered rewards for associates who could secure these chains for Bad Boy. In the world of gang culture, these chains held significant symbolic value, a fact Diddy seemed to be well aware of. Unfortunately, his relentless quest for these chains is believed to have played a role in the untimely deaths of both Biggie and Tupac, underscoring the grim consequences of his fixation. In the rich half-century history of hip-hop, no other iconic duo has undergone such extensive scrutiny of their lives and untimely deaths as Tupac Shakur and Christopher Wallace, the renowned rapper professionally known as the Notorious Big or Biggie Smalls. Despite nearly 3 decades passing since their tragic and premature deaths, Shakur in September 1996 in Las Vegas and Wallace in March 1997 in Los Angeles, both figures continue to occupy a special place in the hearts of fans, with their absence still deeply felt.
Everybody gonna always be wanting to point the finger or look at my past and be like, well, okay, this is his MO right here. This is what he used to do. So
their untimely demise is once again under scrutiny following the recent arrest of Dwayne Keith Davis, known as Keffy D, for his alleged involvement in the death of Shakur, a staggering 27 years after the rapper was shot while leaving a boxing match on the bustling Las Vegas Strip. Body camera footage from Davis's arrest captures him alluding to the M as the most significant case in Las Vegas history. "We lost 2 giants senselessly," rapper Fat Joe told CNN. "That's what bothers me when it comes to Biggie and Pac. We lost 2 giants over nothing." However, Shakur's tragic demise had far-reaching repercussions that extended well beyond the confines of Nevada, and it cast a somber foreshadowing over Wallace's own death. The lingering question that remains is when, or indeed if, an arrest will ever be made in connection to the loss of Wallace.
27 years. 27 years. For 27 years, the family of Tupac Shakur has been waiting for justice.
The K of these 2 influential rappers, who started as friends and eventually turned into rivals, have always been closely interconnected within the cultural tapestry. This connection arises from their shared era and the intricate web of events and context that surrounded their lives and tragic ends. It was almost like the death of Tupac was the first movie and then Biggie was the sequel. P. Frank Williams, who produced the 2017 television special Who Shot Biggie and Tupac, told CNN, "The 2 biggest deaths in the history of hip-hop." A notable link emerges in the investigations into the deaths of Tupac Shakur and Christopher Wallace. Greg Kading, a former detective from the Los Angeles Police Department, interviewed Suge Knight in 2009 regarding him as a person of interest in the Wallace M case. This interest was sparked by Davis's attendance at a party hosted at the Peterson Automotive Museum in Los Angeles, which Wallace had left just before the fatal shooting that led to his tragic demise.
Take his word for anything. We know that he's a career criminal. He's a gang member.
Moreover, in a transcript from a recent Clark County grand jury session conducted just last month, retired Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Detective Clifford Mogg revealed that investigators had presented a theory suggesting a potential connection between Tupac Shakur's M and the death of Christopher Wallace. Although Mogg did not provide explicit details about the theory, he did testify that Suge Knight, also known as Marion Hugh Knight Jr., was not considered a participant in these tragic incidents. Furthermore, there have been reports indicating a possible connection between Diddy and Tupac's M. This spotlight on the matter intensified when Biggie's M case was reopened in 2006 at the request of his mother. In the course of this re-examination, LAPD detective Greg Kading uncovered new information that seemed to hint at a potential link between Diddy and the tragic assassination of Tupac.
As the multi-law enforcement task force that investigated the murders of rap stars Tupac and Biggie. That's the Wikipedia story about him, right? So I said, so who was really behind this?
The pivotal turn of events occurred when Voletta Wallace, the mother of Biggie Smalls, initiated a lawsuit against the LAPD seeking approximately $500 million in damages. She cited the well-known conspiracy theory alleging that the police had hidden the truth about her son's death. This legal action prompted the reopening of the case in 2006, with LAPD detective Greg Kading assigned to lead the investigation. As Kading delved into the case, he unexpectedly uncovered a wealth of additional information.
Gangster, and they got these pictures. Is this the guy at the top? Is this the guy? So I have 50 different pictures with magnets, and he's putting these things up on. If you go to the video, you'll see how I set it up with Greg.
In this latest development, Biggie's mother has made startling allegations, drawing a connection between the footage of Biggie's M case. She asserts that she possesses footage implicating Diddy in the K of his son. The gravity of these allegations demands a closer examination of the video to gain a deeper understanding of the situation. In the expansive 50-year narrative of hip-hop, no other duo has endured as thorough examination of their lives and tragic ends as Tupac Shakur and Christopher Wallace, the iconic rapper professionally known as the Notorious Big or Biggie Smalls. Even after almost 3 decades, both figures continue to be cherished and profoundly missed, much as they were in the early 1990s when their lives were abruptly and tragically cut short. Shakur in September 1996 in Las Vegas, and Wallace in March 1997 in Los Angeles.
Everybody gonna always be wanting to point the finger or look at my past and be like, well, okay, this is his MO right here. This is what he used to do. So
Voletta Wallace also once discussed how much money he received when he signed on with the label. She wrote about it in her 2005 book, Biggie. Voletta Wallace remembers her son, Christopher, saying, "The truth is, Christopher accepted the illusion of a friend and mentor for about $25,000. That's the amount Puffy lured my son with. That was a lot of money for Christopher back then as a 19-year-old. He had never seen that much at one time in his life. It was enough money to make my son believe that Puffy was ready to do anything for him. It was enough to buy a blind love and loyalty." Gene Deal has also highlighted a pattern within the music industry, where powerful figures allegedly manipulate or erase surveillance footage to conceal controversial incidents. By powerful figures, it is possible he is pointing towards Diddy, because apparently he has also paid a hotel to remove footage of Biggie Smalls being a syndicated television show host, Roger Mills, filed a lawsuit against rap mogul Sean Puffy Combs, his record label Bad Boy Entertainment, and members of Combs' entourage. The legal action initiated in Wayne County. Circuit Court is seeking unspecified damages. Mills, a resident of Harper Woods, Mish, asserts claims false imprisonment, destruction of property, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and civil conspiracy against Combs, representatives of Bad Boy Entertainment and Detroit radio station WCHB-FM. As we have yet to be served with this complaint, we are unable to comment on specific allegations, a Combs spokeswoman said in a statement. However, any claim that Mr. Combs participated in any wrongdoing is totally false. Furthermore, facilitating the press with this baseless complaint is a blatant attempt to exploit Mr. Combs' celebrity for media attention. Representatives for Bad Boy Entertainment have issued a statement indicating that they have not yet reviewed the lawsuit and, therefore, are refraining from making any comments at this time. Attempts to obtain a response from WCHB were unsuccessful. Detective Greg Kading made a notable revelation during his investigation, stating his conviction that the deaths of the Notorious Big and Tupac were intricately linked. As he probed into the circumstances surrounding Biggie's tragic end, he uncovered fresh evidence that forged a connection between both cases.
Who was really the guy behind it? He says, well, we first thought it was this, then we first thought it was that, and we first thought it was this. And
Following an exhaustive 3-year investigation, Detective Greg Kading arrived at a stunning conclusion. Sean Puff Daddy Combs was purportedly involved in ordering a $1 million contract K of Tupac Shakur. The motive behind this alleged conspiracy was believed to be intricately tied to the intense rap feud involving Combs and Biggie Smalls. Kading asserted that the influential music mogul had substantial gang connections in Los Angeles and had reportedly enlisted the assistance of Crips member Dwayne Keith Keffy D. Davis to execute the assassination. This chain of events ultimately led to the heartbreaking death of Tupac and the injury of Suge Knight. Interestingly, mere hours before the shooting, Baby Lane had been involved in a physical confrontation with Tupac at a Las Vegas casino.
They don't look like, a weak gang. And two, they owe it to him.
All these links make speculation that had a part in both K. It seems like Mary has also observed the circumstances surrounding Aaliyah's tragic fate. Aaliyah had her name linked with Jay-Z for an extended period. Mary at one point expressed a belief in foul play regarding Aaliyah's death and reportedly conveyed a sense of foreboding, indicating that she thought she knew she was next. In her words, quote, "It was just that when I saw her die, that's when I discovered the fact that I'm next," Blige said. "I don't know how or when, but I'm next. I don't know what kind of freak accident they're going to put me in or what kind of overdose of H they're going to sort out. But at the end of the day, I knew I was next. I just thought, I'm scared." Jean's and Biggie's mother's claims regarding Diddy's involvement in Biggie's death have indeed sparked attention and discussion. The consistency in Jean's account of the events leading to Biggie's tragic demise has resonated with fans, serving as an intriguing aspect in the ongoing dialogue surrounding the circumstances of the rapper's death.
Immediately in the aftermath, Diddy hears about the shooting, finds out that there's, Tupac's been shot and is in the hospital.
Thank you for this. Biggie's music had a huge impact on my life. One of the first hip-hop artists to rap about depression and pushing through it. And as always, big up, one fan wrote. So well deserved. Congratulations to Biggie. R.I. Power King. He's so missed and loved. The hip-hop culture will never be the same without him. Miss Wallace has a beautiful spirit, and it's good to see Wayne still there being a friend. Another fan added, "The various theories surrounding Biggie's untimely death, while not officially verified, consistently implicate Diddy's involvement. And now one of them is that Diddy may have wanted to K Biggie so that he and Mary can destroy Faith. Maybe Mary was jealous of Faith, and you can see how Faith Evans is seen so less, and Mary is still in the spotlight as she was in the beginning." One fan wrote, "Faith eyes looks like they hold so much pain. I bet she went through hell under that contract with Diddy after the passing of her husband. I'm sure tanning was the least of it." Another one added, "Faith never got to that platform where she should have been." The choice of words appears quite precise, suggesting that Mary may have a keen understanding of how certain individuals are targeted or harmed. That's it for today. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.